Welcome back. Today let's read and discuss some AITAs. I've got Reddit pulled up. Let's jump right into it. AITA for putting my neighbor's car up for adoption. I think I'm assuming they mean cat. Let's read. One morning a couple weekends ago, when it was particularly freezing cold outside, my husband and I heard a cat we've never seen before crying outside on our porch. He's a very sweet and friendly guy. No collar, no claws. So, sweet little guy is also defenseless out there. He has a bloody nose and wasn't neutered, and when we brought out a can of food, he ran up and started gobbling it down, so pretty hungry. We got him into a carrier and posted all over next door on the local Facebook page for lost found animals. But after a couple days with no response, we took him to the local animal rescue, where it was discovered that in addition to not having a microchip, he had feline leukemia and feline HIV. Anywho, we would have adopted him, except that we already have 3 cats, and feline leukemia in particular is very contagious and deadly. Statistically, this cat only has about 3 years to live, best case scenario. Well, anyways, he got adopted very quickly, which is awesome. But then, like 2 days later, we get a knock on the door, and it's our neighbor 2 doors down who says it's her cat. She has pictures to prove it, so I'm pretty sure it's her cat, but also she clearly took appalling care of him given his state. AITA for taking him to the shelter? No. I don't care if you didn't wait several days after posting him on the local Facebook pages. I might have just taken, if I straight up knew that cat belonged to someone, I still might have taken it in, because that's gray area for me, because that cat, given the details that you gave us, I would assume that cat's quality of life is pretty bad. Like, I would assume this cat is struggling and uncomfortable and, like, whatever. If that were the case, even knowing that animal belongs to someone, I'd still pick it up. But, given that you literally, went out of your way to post on the board and, waited, what did you say you waited? Several days, but after a couple of days, so 2-3 days, you're posting and looking, and nobody's. Again, it's like, I understand if she hadn't seen the notices yet that you'd had the cat, but also it's just, there's only so much you can do. If you find someone, this cat, who is suffering and needs help, and you do ask around via the channels that you have, which is the Facebook groups and the neighborhood chat or whatever, it's like, I feel like you went far and above, and frankly, this animal, there's no, I don't know, if this person was so concerned about this animal, why is it in such rough shape? And why is it declawed? Why is it outside with no claws and no collar? Why does it have, all these illnesses? I don't know, you know what I mean? Why is it starving and scrawny? It just, I don't think you're the a-hole at all. Let me scroll down. NTA. Let me read this one. Okay, OP had the cat a couple of days looking for the owner, but then took the cat to the shelter. Shelter had the cat for at least a few days to do health exam and get a read on personality, get the cat adopted out. That's not an instant thing. Then a couple of days after that, neighbor comes over and says, hey, you have my sick cat. Also, yeah. Okay, so good point is, don't shelters do holds? In fact, I know that, shelters do holds when they get animals in. I don't know how long the hold is and whatever in this case, but it's they do hold. So it's not even like they brought that cat in and the same day they had it adopted out and given to somebody. It's they put holds on those animals to make sure to do all the health screenings and to make sure someone isn't going to come looking. So it's we're talking even more than a couple of days that the OP had this cat, that the person still wasn't. And again, maybe this person did spend all that time looking for the cat and just finally connected with the right person, but I just kind of doubt that. You know what I mean? Yeah, everyone's just saying, who the heck declaws a cat but doesn't neuter it? Right? Also, it's why is it declawed but not neutered and stuck outside? Why did you declaw it? To stick it outside? NTA a million times over. Come on, that one's not even controversial. I don't know why they posted that there, because no. NTA. Firm NTA. Let's move on to another one. AITA for ruining my now ex-boyfriend's birthday. Kind of seems like it. Let's see. My ex-boyfriend had a birthday 3 days ago. He doesn't have a lot of friends and he has been unemployed for about 4 months, and that has been making him depressed. That's why I wanted to plan him something special for his birthday. I did a reservation for his birthday in a very nice place. I selected a gift that included his birthstone. I was so excited. But he arrived to the place 15 minutes later. He had a terrible attitude. He complained about the place because it was too crowded. He complained about me because he said I was speaking about negative topics that made him feel like crap all the time. I had to go to the bathroom and cry. He was also using his phone to avoid looking at me. By the end of the night, I was so tired of his attitude that I said, okay, so you can take care of your own bill, and left the place, but I immediately regretted it, so I went back and paid the bill. He was furious. He broke up with me. He said I ruined his birthday, and he also threw at me the gift that I gave him and left me abandoned at the place. So I'm now blocked on everything, and he never wants to see me again. I'm so hurt. I do feel like a bad person, but I was just really hurt by his attitude. I also want to add that he has a tendency to take it out on me when things are going wrong for him. I would say NTA. Now, should you have probably reacted a little better, and by better I mean not reacted at all, because you'd left him months ago the first time he got nasty with you for something that literally had nothing to do with you. But that's an aside. It's like there's just a lot to this. It's like yeah, you maybe could have acted a little bit better in that moment, but frankly, you've clearly been like push. His attitude's nasty all the time. It literally says like he has a tendency. It's not even, you didn't even say like, oh, this isn't the first. But he has a tendency, meaning like he does this a lot. Like this is common. Like, oh yeah, this, been there, done that. You know. And here's the thing: is even when you kind of lost your temper, was like, pay your own bill, dude, and laughed for a second, you were like, okay, hold on. You calmed down, was like, that wouldn't be right to do, and went back in. Like, you were able to, when both of you were getting angry, you had a moment of clarity. We're like, all right, let's chill and just do the right thing. Whereas it seems like he doesn't have that moment. And I imagine that's pretty common between you two. And that's a recurring issue where you feel like you're probably like constantly the one trying to de-escalate, and it's not working because it takes two people to like, like if one's trying to de-escalate but the other's trying to escalate, it's not going to de-escalate. You know what I mean? Honestly, you are not the a-hole, and I'm sorry that he broke up with you over that, but I would say good riddance, unlucky you, because it sounds like a relationship that needed to be done and over anyways. AITA for not punishing my daughter after she made a younger kid cry. I don't know. Everybody's babying kids nowadays. Let's see why the kid even cried. My 41 daughter, 10, Annie, has a friend group of 5 girls. They're all 9 to 10 except for the one who's 7. Let's call her the younger one, Sarah. Annie told me that Sarah tends to lie a lot, mainly about vacations and cool experiences. For example, if one girl says their family took a vacation to XYZ, Sarah will say she's also been there, maybe even 3 times. Annie was talking about how she bought an oyster with a pearl inside, and Sarah made up a story about how she once found 9 or 10 oysters on the beach with pearls inside them. According to Annie, Sarah does this with literally every vacation or cool experience any of the girls mention. The girls were buying this at first, but over time it became obvious that she couldn't have possibly been to every single vacation spot, all the 4 girls combined, some even multiple times. Other girls in the group went to Paris, the other one went, they're just listing where all the girls went. Apparently she called out Sarah, while Sarah kept insisting she was telling the truth. Then Diana started to question Sarah about the major tourist spots in Paris, and Sarah couldn't answer anything. Both Diana and Annie were frustrated with Sarah's lies, so they decided to hang out separately. The following day, Diana's mom and I got an angry text from Sarah's mom alleging that our daughters made her kid cry because they were bullying her. She admitted that Sarah lied about going to Paris, but insisted that since our girls are older, they are at fault, and called her for calling her out so harshly. Look, I know Sarah's young and can emphasize with why she felt the need to lie. She probably feels not as cool as the other girls. However, as much as I acknowledge that this feeling is terrible, especially for a kid, the truth still remains that lying isn't cool no matter what age. Another thing to note is that our girls never talk about their vacations in a braggy way, but more in a let me share this awesome experience way. And trust me, if Annie ever did put another kid down for not having been somewhere, I would punish her instantly. However, this wasn't the case. I really don't think Annie did anything wrong. Sarah is the one who lied to her friends and got called out because they were annoyed and hurt by it. Diane's mom agrees with me that our girls aren't in the wrong. I texted her back defending our girls and suggesting that she have a talk with Sarah about lying. She got even more angry and insisted that our girls need to be punished. The thing is, I know that Sarah is significantly younger and that Annie's mom, and as Annie's mom, I may be biased in this, in her favor. So I want more opinions. AITA for siding with my daughter. No. That's the thing. That's exactly what I was suspecting, and that's exactly what I see all too commonly today, and it's really becoming a pet peeve of mine. People get called out for doing something that they did that was wrong, and they act like they're the victim. Like, you telling them that they're wrong hurts their feelings. As if their feelings should over-trump the actual reality action that they did that was wrong, in this case, the lying. Like, you're not the victim because someone caught you lying. You know what I mean? Like, being caught in doing the wrong thing doesn't make you a victim. And I really don't like the ever-growing, like, lack of accountability that people have nowadays. And it's, like, rubbing off on our kids. Like, feelings are becoming more important than reality. And it's kind of crazy. NTA, yeah, okay, great. Most people are saying, like, NTA, Sarah wasn't being bullied. She's not, like, people shouldn't be allowed to just blatantly lie. Like, absolutely, hard agree. It might be time for the other older girls to stop hanging out with Sarah. Again, the mom said, like, I completely get it. She's a younger girl. She doesn't feel as adequate as this group. She's trying to fit in with this group of older girls. I get it. It's not even on Sarah. It's really on Sarah's mom. Because isn't that what I literally just said? And it's rubbing off on the kids because it's not Sarah. It's not her fault. It's not her problem. She's not doing this. It's the mom. Clearly the mom engages this way in her regular life. And so that's the example that Sarah gets. And when, when Sarah told her mom what was going on, that was the reaction of the mom. Was, oh, you're being bullied. Like, your feelings aren't important enough to those girls as I think they should be. And I just think that causes a lot of, like, cascading, overreaching problems in society when people are not prepared to, like, take accountability for when people catch them out doing something wrong. AITA for not telling my mother I was getting married. I, 31 male, came out to my mom, female 51, about a decade ago. She didn't handle it well. At first, I had a big argument, which she apologized for, but she said she didn't feel comfortable talking about my sexuality and asked me not to bring it up again. I hoped this was temporary, so I tried mentioning it as if I was dating someone over the years, but she always got upset, so I stopped bringing it up. My decision is made. We don't talk much because of this. Recently, my husband and I got married. I invited the rest of my family, but didn't invite her. I tell her about the wedding. Everyone in my family knows the situation between us, so no one was surprised she wasn't there. A few weeks after the wedding, my uncle mentioned it to her since he assumed I told her about it. Apparently, she was really upset that I hadn't told her and ended up crying on his shoulder. I found out about this when he called me angry for putting him in this situation. Since then, the family is divided, with half saying it was cruel of me to not tell her what was happening. Since people in the family are evenly split, I wanted to get an outside perspective on whether or not I screwed up. So, AITA, hard no. Are you joking? What? What? She literally explicitly multiple times told you, don't talk about that shit with me. So you didn't talk about that shit with her. And now she's upset that you didn't talk about that shit with her. Like, ugh, people frustrate me. And I get it. The uncle sees this woman crying, feels for her, and it's like, bro, what's going on? What's up? You're making your mom cry. But he probably doesn't even have the full story himself, right? It's like, it literally says, like, I tried mentioning it throughout every time I've ever brought it up, she's like, no. You know what I mean? It's like, why would I, especially on my biggest special day where, like, I want things to go well, I want loved ones around me, I want everyone happy and positive about this unity that's about to happen. Why would I even tell her? You know what I mean? Like, that makes no sense. If he told her that he was even gay the first time, or whatever, he just says come out. I don't know his situation, but it's like if he told her about coming out the first time it was a big fight, and every time since he still gets a negative reaction, why on earth would you want to tell her? Even if it has nothing to do with her. It's like about at that point you could be just a little bit selfish. It's like, why would you bring your good, positive, happy news that you want to share with loved ones in a positive way to someone who you know will give you a nasty attitude about it? I wouldn't. Period. Let me scroll down. They better say, and I'm assuming they do, yeah. She asked you not to talk about it with her. Period. And talking about a wedding would be talking about your sexuality. Like, if she doesn't even want to talk about you being in a relationship, period, why would she want to talk about you finalizing and, like, making permanent a relationship? She literally asked you not to talk about relationships. Hold up. Your uncle got angry at you because that dude has it backwards. Yeah, again, like, let's try not to put too much on the uncle. He probably just comes in, doesn't know much of the story, sees a woman crying, gets half the story, and it's like, bro, what's going on? But again, that's why it's important to remember that when people are telling you things, don't form your opinion until you at least get, like, the other side of it. Oh. AITA for getting my friend's title of valedictorian removed. Sir? My friend Janie and I are in the same senior English class. Janie is very smart, and when our semester ended a few weeks ago, we found out that she was valedictorian. My best friend Sophie was second, so she was a bit disappointed. In English, we have vocab tests every other Friday with 40 words in them. These are usually very hard, and Janie always gets the highest score in class. Last Thursday, my computer was dead, so I borrowed Janie's to turn in an assignment. When she gave it to me, it was open to a site with vocab questions. I wasn't sure what it was, but I took a picture of it. Last Friday, when I took the test, I noticed that I recognized a couple of the questions. I found the picture that I had taken, went to the URL, and found all the questions from the test. And going back through all of the tests, all of the questions were there. I emailed my picture to our English teacher and let him know my concerns that Janie was cheating. He had a meeting with her on Monday, and she is pissed at me that they are looking into giving her an academic integrity warning, which may invalidate her from being valedictorian. She told all her friends what I did, and they all sided with her because she says that what she is doing is technically not cheating. I've basically been ostracized from school, except for by Sophie, who's still talking to me. AITA for reporting her cheating. She told all her friends what I did, and they sided with her because she says what she did is technically not cheating. If you got all of the questions to the test, that's cheating. What do you mean? How is it technically not cheating? That seems like cheating to me. So, given the fact that it, like, does, or not fact, but, like, given that it does seem that she was, in fact, cheating, are you the a-hole for reporting it? Long pause. I don't know. That's your friend. But they're cheating. I don't know. Hold on, I'm reading the comments. Huge YTA. Homegirl was literally studying. Looking up the vocab words is not cheating. Using a test your teacher got online and didn't even bother changing to study is not cheating. She's not copy and pasting the Wikipedia articles and claiming it's as her own writing. Oh, okay. I wanted a little bit more. I'm sorry. I was trying to clarify, like, why they thought that, why she was saying that this isn't technically cheating, and it's because it's a URL. It's like a public website. It's just a public website that has these tests listed on this website, and the teacher apparently goes to this website. Like, that's not cheating. That's not cheating. That's studying. Like, that's not cheating. That's studying. This is like a really kind of confusing one. She was studying. Yeah, okay, so most of the people are either saying, like, not enough information. At first, it seemed like people were confused, like I was in the comments here. They're like, what is she doing? This technically not cheating. I don't understand what you think is is shady. It's a vocabulary test. You get a master list of the words in advance, right? It's not just 40 randoms from the dictionary. She quotes that went to the URL and found all the questions from the test. So again, it's like anybody with this URL could just go here and look at this. Like it's a public website for people to just come and like kind of practice. It looks like practice tests or the vibe I'm getting. And it's a vocabulary test. Like aren't right? Like with vocabulary tests, you're given the actual list beforehand, anyways. No. YTA because despite the debate over if it's even cheating or not, you chose to snitch on one friend because your best friend was in second place. Your morals were corrupt from the start. Whether or not Janie was in the wrong for cheating, you just wanted her to not be in front of your friend. You didn't care if she cheated. That's a pretty good point. The whole motivation for this wasn't, oh my goodness, I just found out someone's cheating and need to report it because that's good morals. It was, I didn't even realize that. It was you just clicking and just keeping that information just in case you needed it later, and it turns out that you could use that information at some point to up your best friend over her. YT. Okay, I've made up my decision. That is an a-hole move. That's an a-hole move. I was kind of thinking it's messy to snitch on your friend anyway. It's like I don't know that I would snitch on my friend. It's like I know it's wrong, but I don't know. Like sometimes you gotta like get yourself ahead. I don't know. But most people are saying YTA, especially like if this is just a public thing, and also very good point that you were just holding on to this picture for later use in case you needed it. Ew. AITA for calling my sister a fat bitch after she insulted my son. I, male 44, have a 19-year-old son who I refer to as Max. Max has always been slightly overweight, not fat but not skinny either, weighing 250 at 6'4". He was incredibly active in high school, playing football as well as wrestling for his school. He's always been a little embarrassed by his extra chub, but he's slowly growing more and been growing more confident as he's gotten older, which has been incredibly encouraging to watch. My 39 female sister, who I will call Beth, and I have never had a strong relationship. During our childhood, she was often given preferential treatment due to minor health conditions she had, which led her to constantly tormenting me until I was finally able to move out at 18. I'm literally losing my breath. Well, hold on, let me breathe. After I moved, I went limited contact with all family. However, when I began to have children, my wife encouraged me to try to be more involved with my family for my kids' sake. So children became very close to my nieces and nephews over the years, so I continued to keep the peace for the sake of my kids. All of this leads to today, my niece's 22nd birthday. Of course, my family attended the party, which was held at Beth's house. In the beginning, everything was going fine. The kids were spending time with their cousins, and my wife and I were enjoying the party as well. Max was sitting on the couch in the living room playing his games on his cousin's Xbox along with his younger cousin when Beth decided to provide the unwanted comment of, you know, Max, you spend a little less time on those video games, you could probably drop a few pounds, maybe find yourself a girlfriend. What? That's not the end of the story, but I'm processing. I'm shocked for a second. Hold on. The party fell quiet as Max sat there embarrassed by Beth's comment. Yeah, oh my god. I responded to Beth by saying, don't be ridiculous. It's a party. We're all sitting around eating and drinking, having a good time. Why are you trying to embarrass him? To which she replied, I wasn't trying to embarrass him. I was just trying to offer him some advice. It's not my fault he's so sensitive. After I heard that, I snapped back at Beth saying, who the fuck do you think you are giving my son advice about his weight? Max goes for a run every morning and works as a carpenter. When was the last time you climbed a flight of stairs? Beth looked offended, snarled, good lord, I was just trying to help him out and you insult me like that? You always did have anger issues. I feel bad for your wife. After that, I snapped. I yelled back, you're a fat bitch who tried to embarrass my son in front of all of our family just so you could get some attention. Then you have the balls to try and insult me? Go fuck yourself, you stupid bitch. After that, my wife and kids and I all left. Since then, my phone has been bombarded with texts and calls from my family members telling me to apologize. I spoke to my wife about it, and while she agrees Beth was out of line for saying what she said, I took it too far and need to apologize to Beth and my niece for causing a scene on her birthday. So, AITA. This one seems kind of gray area to me, to be honest. This one is like, that was really egregious to just out of nowhere, out in a time where everyone is partaking in cake and cookies and sitting around and having a party. That was such an inappropriate comment. Like, what are you saying? But the reaction to scream and curse and cause a scene was definitely not helpful. I'm not even going to go as far as to say that's wrong. I think it would have been probably better to not react that way, but are you wrong for reacting that way? Probably not, because that's an egregious, really angering thing to say. I can understand if someone just said that out of nowhere to me or my kid or something like that. It's like, I don't have a kid, like I said, but hypothetical. Like, if someone said that to me or something, it's like, I might lose my temper too, because that's so uncalled for, so rude, so out of place, you know? But I would say that, like, yeah, maybe you need to manage your anger towards her a little bit better, because your reaction was really big to say, like, really awful things and scream in the middle of this birthday party. And, like, now I understand that what was said was wrong, but now kind of think that, like, for the less, like, to prevent any more embarrassment for the kid that's just essentially being called fat, you probably want to avoid making this an even bigger scene, right? You might want to just, like, he's clearly embarrassed, like, let's all just move on real quick, you know what I mean? Like, I would just change the topic, move on, whatever, and I would address it was his sister, right? I would address the sister privately later, or even now if I really feel the need to, but, like, not in front of everyone, not for the sister at all, but for the birthday girl, so that we don't have a big thing at her birthday that kind of messes up and takes precedence over her birthday, but also for your own kid that is sitting there embarrassed by the comment. I wouldn't want to blow it up, make it a really big thing that's really burnt into his mind. Everybody's talking about it forever, and we all remember that really embarrassing thing that happened to me, like, from the perspective of the kid, you know? So, are you an a-hole? No. But I'm just saying it just, like, as the outsider sitting here nice and calm, not being insulted, not watching my loved one being insulted, I can just say probably the better way to react would have been to just not do it so big and so loud and public. You know what I mean? My dog is whining. It's raining today outside. She's bored. I gave her all kinds of enrichment, but she is just, like, wants to go outside. But she don't want to be out there without us. And I'm like, sorry, babe, I'm not going out there. AITA for leaving my friend 300 miles away without a ride home. Probably. Unless you were like, girl, I'm leaving, you need to come. And she's like, no, bye. So, let's see. I, 28 male, and my friend, 28 male, buy and flip cars for fun and small profit. I use my truck and his trailer to pick up these vehicles, take them home. We recently went to another state to pick up a car. The trip was roughly 600 miles round trip and 12 hours just in drive time. By the time we picked the car up, it's only about 4 p.m. We planned out the schedule thoroughly because I had to work the following morning. We load the car up. Oh, gosh. Load the car up and are about to leave when the man who sold us the car offers for us to join him and his friends at the local club. I'm not a party guy. I absolutely didn't want to, but my friend talked me into it with the promise of leaving by no later than 7 p.m., meaning that I'd have about 5 hours of sleep to go to work on, which was doable, so I relented. My mind's made up already. However, at 7 p.m., I was in the truck, ready to go, and my friend was still in the bar texting me and telling me he'd be right out. At 8 p.m., I went back into the club and reminded him that I had to work in the morning and that if everything went perfectly, I'd, be lucky to get 4 hours of sleep if we left right now. His response was for me to call out of my shift. I explained to him that I only had a certain amount of days off I could take. He then agreed to leave and told me that he needed to use the toilet first. I walked outside and waited by the truck for him to come. At 8:30, he was still inside. I called for him from the truck to see what was the holdup. He told me that he got distracted and that he was on his way out now. At 9 p.m., I detached his trailer from my truck, sent him a text, and left for home. I'm guessing he genuinely expected me to wait for another hour because at 10 p.m. he called me frantic and angry. My girly goose messing with the camera. Go sit down, baby girl. I'll finish this up shortly, okay? Asking me what the fuck I was doing, demanding me to come back. I was still pretty pissed, so I sarcastically responded with, I'll be right out, and continued my drive home. AITA? Nah, come on. Come on, that's ridiculous. You had a plan. It was forewarned that you had things to do. He just kept messing about. You gave him every opportunity. Come on, you went in a million times. You texted him a million times. Stop it. Even as you were going, you're like, all right, the last chance, I'm out of here. And then you left. And I love that you said, I'll be right out, and hung up on his ass. All right, let's leave it there. I need to go pay attention to my dog. Thanks so much for joining me. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the little thumbs up down below. Subscribe where you're hanging out down there, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.